Hello, beautiful Gemini. We are here to do your July 2020 read. We're going to cover the psychic energy, the tarot, as well as the astrological aspects. Now, yes, I have pulled your romance house, and I'll articulate it in a way in which hopefully for couples, singles, twin flames, you'll understand the energy that's coming through. I'm also going to be doing additional videos this month, and that's going to be for mid-month love, and it's just going to be romance for your zodiac sign, as well as if you know an energy that is more at a lower frequency and doesn't have the spiritual tools, how they directly will relate to the astrology moving forward of that particular zodiac sign. You can also utilize it if you have a karmic partner connection. So those of you that are twins, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But if you're just generally checking for potentially a friend, a family member that's really struggling, disregard the romance section of the karmic read and just really look at the energy of what is spiritually coming through in the general read. Now we're going to get into your reading. Also, I'll see you during the month for the live twin flame updates and astrology. Now, July is very unique for you, Gemini. We do have Neptune going retrograde, as well as we do have Saturn going direct back into Capricorn. Now, it was in the 9th house, which kind of relates into the nodes, because to balance the 9th house, you do need to be working with the very Mercury-orientated energy. And we currently do have Cancer retrograding, Mercury retrograding in Cancer. So when it comes to your paperwork, family-related dynamics, home-related dynamics, till about the end of the month, around the 25th, it can be a little bit testing. As well as the Cancer placement for you does fall into your 2nd house. So, linking into your professional resources, your career, your possessions, the things you're wanting to attain, like white goods and things to that degree. There might have been some testing time surrounding that. So especially with Mercury retrograde in that house, if something's breaking down, trust in the process and understand that what's going to replace it is going to be far better. This can be vehicles, it can be, as I said, white goods and things like that. But anything you're going to replace, I feel it's going to be quite quality and it will actually last you a very long time. So it is quite common during that process of Mercury retrograde, especially since it's in your 2nd house and it is linking in with, Mercury, which kind of brings issues. Anyway, keep your receipts. That's what I'd suggest. Try to be patient. Go through your insurance policies, etc., and make sure that's covered. And that can kind of alleviate some of that energy. So we did have the eclipse last month in Cancer. Because we do have Mercury in Cancer, that continuation of that energy is going to be moving through much of the month. So again, anything linking into trying to find employment, professional resources, that is going to be subject matters coming up, especially with Neptune retrograde. It falls in your 10th house of career. Some of you might be reassessing what the dream is, whether the energy really resonates with you. And it's really interesting. The next 2.5 years, because we have the nodes in your 1st house, you overall are going to be really, really transformed. But it's going to be this newer version of you. And I have been mentioning to both Sagittarius and Gemini, because I've had the Cancer placement there in my 1st house. For you guys, try and be patient with yourselves and understand that, universe isn't against you. This is for your betterment. It can be a very testing time going through the nodal axis, especially with heavy placements within your chart. So if you're struggling or you're feeling a little bit agitated, it is perfectly normal. But it's a new way you are going through a transformative state of being. Now, on the 27th, we will have Neptune, Venus squaring Neptune. So it is in your 1st house and it does hit your 10th house. So both the way maybe you're showing yourself and advertising yourself potentially in any of the things you're working on, be it at work or just currently working on, there can be a bit of a reflection and a change up of that energy. And I do feel many of you might find that day being a little bit challenging, moving into it and moving out of it, but the solution that's coming out of it at the end will be a transformation nevertheless. So try and be patient with that day. Now with Saturn returning into Capricorn, you guys did have the 9th house energy there for a few months, which was definitely lighter than it being in the 8th house. The 8th house does link into potentially shared assets. It can be legacies. It can be inheritances and things like that. It can also be recovering and healing over a person that have passed away and actually looking at that. And for some reason, I'm really picking with you guys. I do feel money returning to you. So if the financial aspect and you tuning into who's with you, who's against you, I really feel these themes are going to be coming up for the next 5 months, and there's going to be deep assessment there. By the time we reach 2021, we're going to have Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. So it's going to really work quite well with us all the way through to April, where it will be more manageable. The Capricorn frequency, because we have such heavy placements, both with Pluto and Jupiter retrograde at the moment, they're both in Capricorn, and now Saturn returning to Capricorn, it is all hitting your 8th house. At an assessment state, I do feel many of you are going to hit the ground running and really be directly dealing with potentially even paperwork, taking the bull by the horns, potentially even, I feel more management energy. Now, with Mars, it's going to be moving into Aries and it's going to be there for 6 months. It does fall in your 11th house placement. Now, I do relate the 11th house to more the connections of your friends, your tribe, your pastimes, your hopes and dreams. I do feel with Mars energy, when it does go retrograde, it's when we're going to feel more sluggish. So, really be mindful as to that frequency, because by September it is going retrograde. So if you're needing to achieve anything connecting in with your hopes and dreams, and you're wanting to put your money where your mouth is, this is the most beneficial time to be doing such, even though we are ending the nodal axis with the eclipse. By the time we do get to September, you will feel more sluggish. So if you are working on your time management, completing tasks, and you are working or dealing with aspects of paperwork and things to that degree, try and before September have those things tied up, so that energy, you can take a little bit of a break and step back and really cope with that frequency. So we'll get into your read. Now, the ruin you have is this, and I'm going to read it to you at a very basic level. And I do feel you guys might be feeling a little bit lost. Lost from a potential. Now, this relates to Aquarius. And as I mentioned, Saturn is moving out of Aquarius and back into Capricorn. And Saturn does directly link in with both of those zodiac signs. So for you, Gemini, this is fire and water. So again, very Mars energy. Also trying to feel grounded. Gemini can really relate to the energies of more local, your day-to-day routine. It can be very social. Now, it is in reverse. If something energetically, the week leading into July and moving into it, you're feeling a bit off in frequency, it can be due to the 8th house placement. It can be emotions of old energies coming up, maybe feeling a little bit unsupported, or just a bit off. Being in reverse, it's funny that this is 8th house. Now, I pulled the ruin before I pulled the cards. I then pulled the cards and I could see the direct correlation between the ruin and this placement. Depression, mortality, blindness, self-delusion. What I'm picking more than anything, and I'm just going to leave it at that, it is emotions, right? Your crystal that you have is this. I'm going to try and get it in. I confidently show my true colours to others. I am fabulous. Peacock copper. Improved optimistic outlook on life. Increased happiness, feeling confident and comfortable. Embracing abilities to be in the spotlight. Like I said, I feel like you're taking the bull by the horns, but you might not feel so comfortable. And again, I feel it's more vibration. So with the vibration, if you're feeling a little bit off, it does make sense. Now, as to relationships and conflict coming up, Venus is in your zodiac sign. It is moving direct, but it's more out of the woods by about the 25th. So it's natural that you may be feeling off, including the fact that by the time we hit the 5th, we're having the eclipse in Capricorn, which hits your 8th house. Looking back, you're maybe assessing relationships, contracts, partnerships. This is your general part of the read. I have got the romance too. So if you're thinking back, it may even be missing people, looking at what you've invested in, assessing it, how you feel about it, how you've showed yourself to these connections, whatever they be. At the moment, you may feel that almost like the devil in the detail. But I do feel due to the Capricorn eclipse, this is why the devil card's coming up. Maybe not feeling so great. Maybe feeling these emotions, feeling a little bit guilty about how you are feeling. But at the same time, something in your mind's coming up and it might be plaguing you. But I don't feel this is an energy of a person. I more feel this is a vibration of maybe a thought process. And really maybe trying, and I keep feeling leadership, so maybe it's making you feel a little bit anxious, whatever this leadership frequency is. But I do feel that overall it's going to be very positive. There also can be a person that you meet or have met that it feels very driven, very passionate, very interconnected. This can scare you a little bit, even though a lot of your energy is really quite large on the career sector. But at the moment, it can be that you're assessing and looking at habits, routines, the structure. But I feel this is more coming through as Saturn moving into Capricorn and needing to look at something. I do feel if people aren't working with you, that you'll be calling them out, especially with the Mars placement in your 11th house. I also feel that with your friendship groups, you can be very strong and firm. And I'm also seeing one friend in particular that may need you this month. And I feel you will be, as much as you probably don't see yourself this way, it's like something that you've been through is actually going to aid this person. And it does bring you guys closer together, but it does feel same-sex friend. Maybe even like a person who you relate to being a brother or a sister energy. It is a very reciprocal energy in a sense. This could be family as well. Moving forward, again, I just feel there's lots going on for you guys, and it does make sense with, you know, the nodes in your zodiac sign, as well as the fact that there's this huge transformation with Venus for you at the moment. I do feel by August you'll feel a little bit different. Sometimes to move into that nodal energy, on top of the cycles that we're cycling out with the previous nodes with these eclipses, we're almost out of choppy water, but we need to address getting our bearings and getting our balance. I do feel there could be two things that you're working on this month that are quite major. I do feel you're going to multitask and be able to achieve them, but just try and be as confident as possible moving forward and try not to have that self-negative talk. Now, with your money sector, you're being very practical about what you're spending, and I do feel there's a lot of planning here. Whatever this planning is, whether it's linking with a second house placement, needing to tighten your belt for a bigger picture, I think it's all serving a purpose. But I do feel you are able to handle this. So if you are dealing with an aspect of adversity, I did end up getting another crystal for you which does relate into this, and it's around the relationship sector. But overall, there is a lot of abundance coming your way. It's just about really trying to keep grounded and continue to move forward. Now, your career at the moment, you might be leaving one and going to another. For some of you, not all of you. Others of you, you need to read the fine print. I also feel if you're trying to show your truth or sell yourself, if you are working, you need to place it in at, again, Mercury retrograde in Cancer, the energy of Capricorn coming through. Who's working with you, who's not? If you don't feel you're getting what you're deserving of, really reassess that, because I do feel two golden opportunities coming. When this is so, it's so. This energy is for the month of July, but some of you might be meditating, towards two paths. So even if you're not working, it is in the ethers still. It's more towards trusting yourself and understanding that you're going through a transformative stance. And I'm also feeling another energy maybe coming in and assisting you, where two people could be working together to move towards a common goal, maybe even a self-run business for some of you. But make sure you read the fine print. If there has been delays and things haven't changed, I feel it's more to do with you coming through confidently, speaking your truth, utilizing your Mars energy. And I do feel you have an ally next to you. Now, your tribe and the people you're mixing with, I do feel some of you, again, choosing responsible energies, maybe having a bit too much responsibility due to some emotions that are coming through with friendship groups. But again, there is this kindred energy coming through where providing you're selective of the people you're mixing with, be it via Skype, Messenger, or directly in the 3D, it's very bonded. Now, there is a person potentially that is not in your life anymore that you are thinking about, and they're trying to bring new energies into your life. But at the same time, for some of you, it does feel this particular person is like the ghost of yesteryears, but they're still there in a resonance with you. I still do feel you are going to be the person similar to this degree, but I do feel people are coming into your life at the moment, and they're going to be very important people moving forward. Your family this month, you do have the 7 of Cups in reverse. There could be a major thing that comes up this month that needs addressing. And again, for some reason, you're moving into this leadership position. So if you synchronistically see these patterns going on around you and you feel like it's penny little, everything's falling down, it is because you're guided to be that Gemini energy, that communicator, that balancer. Some of you may not be feeling that vibration, almost like you're walking into the fire, walking back out and going, thank goodness, I really need a break. But nevertheless, I do feel you're acting like a guider, a mentor, a spiritual guru in some shape or form to actually heal and balance these energies. On the 5th, when we have the lunar eclipse in Capricorn, you may be feeling that, is everything going wrong? You might be feeling the energy again. I'm going to full clarify. I feel this loved one who's around you. It can be a memory. It can be an anniversary of something coming up. Can also be, really needing a person in your life that you can depend on, but it's almost like you're moving out of that house at the moment. Some of the situations that you've moved through, you may have not had anyone you could depend on. We'll see if this relates. And now it's come up into your mind where you feel that's a necessity. You're willing to work with people. You need to connect with the right tribe, be it relationships, family, etc. Yeah, really learning a lot about this. Self-worth energy, loyalty, and not pinning your hopes on things that aren't sure things. Really tuning into, but it can be a spiritual energy that comes up, and even if it has been resolved, a memory of such does appear to be coming up. But I do feel, again, there is a vibration of a loved one who's passed over. Yeah, loved one that's passed over. For some, it is a male energy. Now, the new moon in Cancer is going to be a blue moon. It's also a secondary chance to actually make right of the second house for you. I do feel big planning and big changes. Lots moving in this department where, pretty much we will have till the end of the year Saturn in Capricorn. We're also going to have Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn. Now, by the time we hit 2021, you are going to have an opportunity to have a bit of movement there where it moves back to your 9th house. And I feel there can be some travel involved. There might be more you feel you're on your life purpose. There's going to be a shift up of that. But at the moment, it's going to be quite heavily focused in that 8th house of really gaining your correct tribe and the people that need to be around you. With the Cancer energy, between now and the end of the year, although there might be some changes and delays, something that comes up is going to give you an opportunity to correct a situation. Be it you're needing to return something, or you're wanting to actually invest or touch base with someone in relation to a job, a contract. I do feel there's a lot of luck surrounding this new moon in Cancer. If something comes up in a trigger point, try and understand that you are getting an answer. It may come up in an emotional situation. You'll hear your truth. You may then go inside yourself, away from people, to reflect. Yeah. And again, I just feel location-wise, it's like you may feel with home and family, and even with the people you're linking in with, do you resonate? Do you need to look at this differently? Some of you, if you are working from home, there may be the need for it because it feels like whatever this is, if you're launching something at a very separate degree, it feels like it may become larger than you thought and you may need a different building. Interesting message. Love, you guys, you're trying to make a judgment. Some of you may need to really come to a point where you're trying to make a balanced decision, I feel. Looking at life, and in the Two of Swords energy, but I feel it's more relating in with Venus. Some of you might be trying to balance things out. Again, I just feel you guys are the mediators this month. Now, past energy, you may have felt like you needed more clarity and balance. Some of you may have articulated what these things were that you needed to change, be it you're with this person or you're not. So I do feel reflection back and the health and the need for give and take in situations. Some of this may have been outside of your control due to circumstances that were going on in your life. But where you stand now, I do feel it's almost like you've done healing and you feel free. Now, this could be that you're no longer in a connection and you feel you've come to terms with something and you're ready to venture out. But again, it's like your belief of freedom you feel comes at a cost. So it's like, again, I do feel you're in two minds. Whatever happened in the past, I do feel that you're either thinking this person does not want commitment, or you potentially are feeling you have too much going on. You're trying to make a healthy judgment. But look, if you're tuning into what happened in the past versus what potentially can happen in the future, that can be a flawed way to make a decision, and I'll tell you why. Because with this at the heart energy, you're jumping and changing. So if this is your energy and you're feeling this way, although some of you could be feeling really pressured to make a decision, and I'm being guided to say just take your time. Don't feel rushed. If this has been going on a long time for you and you're really undecided, I'm going to read theirs and come back to yours. I may pull clarifies because it feels something's missing. This person's moving into the energy of their birthright, but this could also be very much 8th house placement of a legacy. Maybe dealing with an inheritance or something to that degree, but really stepping into their shoes where they're trying to be the person they needed to be. This can be a very analytical energy. The way they're thinking and processing this direct situation. Something that you did in the past, though, has made this person a bit insecure and jealous. Or this can even be their awareness, because remember, energies can swap. There's either an external energy that is jealous of this connection, or it goes both ways, where one or the other party is feeling a little bit jealous connected to something that occurred in the past, but it could be all three. But there's something pertaining to this energy, and I do feel it's a person. It's relating to a person or a situation. I'm sensing that this person has a very, very strong energy around them. Now, this can be you, Gemini. And I do feel they see that you're the fruit and the salt of the earth. It's like you're everything. You're deeply intuitive. That does make them a bit nervous because you're able to tune into them. They really do feel that you see straight through them. I do feel something quite major is going to come up around the eclipse and the new moon. Whatever this is playing out for them, I feel it's making them a bit nervous. I keep hearing like there could be disputes going on in their surroundings relating to money at the moment. And this is what the delay is. I feel there's a delay. And again, it doesn't make sense with Mercury retrograde, especially pertaining to family, inheritance, legacies. We're really finalising contracts. Whatever this is that's being dealt with over here, it does feel it hasn't completely ended. That doesn't mean to say that movement and change isn't happening, because the in-between energy is abundant. So whatever this hold-up is, and balancing it out, be it its personal self-worth, or directly waiting on tying something up in a sense of paperwork, which I feel it's relating to. I do feel this is assisting the movement. So, you know, it is affecting the vibration and making them feel a little bit agitated. But I do feel once it's sorted, this is a different vibration coming through. Again, I'm feeling a lot of petty arguments. Nobody agreeing on, you know, if the foundation is, I feel a conversation piece is coming up where if parties can't agree to disagree, this is really coming to a point where it's getting messy. They're making reference to a celebration. Now, whatever they're waiting on, I do feel they're going to have victory. I also feel a new contract. I don't know why I'm picking a little bit of ego. It's like that they're needing this for their emotional, you know, they might have had a hit to their energy. And so it's almost like if they have been working on it, yeah, it broke their heart. They had worked very hard, or they dealt with something for a while. That's interesting. 2 times. I feel Capricorn, the Capricorn energies come through twice for you guys. How do you feel about them? This is a really weird channeling. Okay, I'm seeing 2 particular individuals, and both of you are very, very strong energies. I'm getting a frequency coming through, and this could be one particular message for only one individual, or it could be collective energy. Both of you, it does feel you guys really know each other. Now, I do feel both of you have contracts you're dealing with. Now, this could be a physical contract, a working contract, or a soul tribe contract in the sense of something you're achieving at this point in time. Gemini, you're very driven. You also are trying to stay focused on what you're doing. You may be keeping busy while this person's dealing, and I feel they're dealing with a very family-orientated dynamic. Because I can feel bickering and rivalry, whatever it is. It could even be a workplace, but I feel it's more family. They're really not happy about this. You are trying to keep busy. That's what I'm sensing. Trying to keep busy, getting things done. But their energy keeps coming to mind. So maybe you feel a little bit psychically attacked, or that it's on your mind. But this temptation energy is there. If this is causing stress for you, and that's why the sacral chakra energy and the devil card's coming up, you know, try and use crystals, maybe create a little bit of space so that this you know, issue can actually balance out. Again, the eclipses can bring our vibration up with that at a vibrational level. It can hit our moon energy, which is our emotions. I'm feeling for you guys, though, there is a move of residence. You're trying to really look at everyone's position around something, but I'm also feeling you're not feeling this coming. You feel off, but you're not correlating the dots to Saturn direct with the base chakra in reverse. Suddenly it's moving back into Capricorn, and I really feel, especially with the Cancer energy, it relates to sacral chakra, both linking in with movement forward and our direct foundation. These big subjects are coming up this month. It is going to be a brand new beginning, but something from the past is coming back. It's going to be balancing out. You may be focusing on, at a very spiritual level, lighter things so that you can cope. But I do feel a return of something and a deep transformation. So I do feel this is very positive. Now, I am going to leave it there. Both of you are doing healing at the moment. This Aries placement we're going to have in all of our charts is going to give us about 6 months to do this healing. Because we do have Aries and Chiron. Now, when is it going retrograde? Did I write it down? July 11th. Okay. Till December 15th. That's why. And then Mars on September will go retrograde. So, you know, when it comes down to you being motivated, because it's in a motivation movement energy, don't be surprised if you feel very tired. Again, you know, understand both of you in a yin-yang effect are getting your balance back. This can also be something that is going to be, even if it looks messy, very much like the lotus flower, you guys are going to emerge from this, you know, with a lot of gold. So, and I feel the gold is alchemy, like turning something that potentially looked a little bit terrible into something very, very beautiful. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll touch base with you and do just the romance read mid-month, and I'll probably have it out about a week beforehand. And I will see you on the other side during the lives. Love and light, Gemini. Look after yourself.